Okay, we're going to look at the angles in a parallelogram and why consecutive angles add up to 180 and why opposite angles are equal. So what we're going to do on this diagram of this parallelogram is we're going to first start by simply extending the sides. So I'm going to extend this bottom side of the parallelogram. I'm going to extend this top side of the parallelogram. So I have two parallel lines right there. Then I'm going to extend the other two sides of the parallelogram. Here's the first. And here's the other. If you notice, we have two parallel lines cut by some transversals. The transversals are also parallel to each other. So we're going to go back and use parallel lines and transversals to verify. So I'm going to also label my other angles up here. I left off at D, so I'm going to just label EFG, HIJ, KLM, and NOP. So first thing I want to point out is that I'm going to use angle A and B. Angle A and B are same side interior angles, so we know they add up to 180 degrees. Again, same side interior angles, A and B. So since those two angles add up to 180 degrees, I know B must be 60 because 60 plus 120 is 180. So I'm going to label B as 60 degrees. So that pretty much tells me that consecutive angles add up to 180. A and B, consecutive angles of the parallelogram, add up to 180. How do we know that? Because they're same side interior angles. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this upper portion. Angle A is a corresponding angle to N. Since those two angles are corresponding, we know corresponding angles are equal. So again, A and N are corresponding angles. They're in the same position if you're looking at this top portion of the diagram. So we know angle N is 120 degrees. Next, we know angle C is supplementary to angle N. They're along a straight angle right here. So since they're supplementary angles, we know supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So therefore C and N are supplementary angles. They add up to 180. So 60 plus 120 adds up to 180, so C must be 60 degrees. Then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to use corresponding angles again. Angle N corresponds to L on this lower portion of the diagram. So they are corresponding angles. So L is equal to 120. So again, N and L are corresponding angles. So then the last thing I'm going to look at is vertical angles. For vertical angles, I know that angles L and D are vertical angles, so therefore I know angle D and L are equal to each other because vertical angles are equal. So angle D must be 120. So if you notice now, angle A and D were opposite on the parallelogram. They were opposite angles. Opposite angles are equal on your parallelogram. So we just showed that consecutive angles on a parallelogram add up to 180. That went from being same side interior angles. And then I also showed you that opposite angles are equal on a parallelogram. And I had to go through and walk you through a couple different things to get that.